Okay. Hey guys, this is the TCG team, and we've got another deck profile for you.
We're coming at you with our latest, or not really latest, but it is our greatest. So this is Connor's scrap deck.
Yeah, this is the deck I'm running right now. I think, yeah, it's really good. Okay, anyway, let's go.
It's tournament legal and tournament style. I don't know.
I win like 1 out of every 3 games, so I'm a pretty fail player. Anyway,
it's better than none.
Yeah, I do better than Chris in some tournaments.
Hey!
I said in some.
Oh.
Anyway, scrap. The essential for any scrap deck. 3 scrap chimera. He revives a scrap tuner from the graveyard, and he can't sync with anything but a scrap tuner, and he can only sync for a scrap monster. So
that's something
keep that in mind.
That's something to keep in mind if you're trying to get things that bring back tuners.
Yeah.
So
it's like a junk synchron on steroids, basically.
It kind of is, only it's a lion.
3 scrap beast. This is your main tuner of the deck. What he usually does is scrap beast. What he'll do when he's attacked and he's in face-up defense position, although this doesn't happen much. In fact, it hasn't happened yet. But if he's in face-up defense position and he's attacked,
and he survives, it's destroyed instantly.
It's destroyed at the end of the battle phase if he's attacked while he's in defense mode and he survives. And then if he's destroyed by the effect of a scrap card, he will recycle a scrap monster. He'll put a scrap monster into your hand. So
like scrap chimera, which will then allow you to summon it and bring back scrap beast and summon for scrap dragon.
Yep.
He's done that a lot. Made like this huge loop with these cards.
Okay. Next is 2 scrap Orthros. I use this to loop my chimeras. What he does is when you control another face-up scrap monster, you can special summon him from your hand. He can't be normal summoned or set, so. And actually, his ruling is as long as you special summon him right the first time, you can revive him from the graveyard or wherever. I get a lot of hate for this in tournaments, but I can revive him with Chimera. Anyway.
And then he can just destroy Chimera or something like that. No. Or there's a strategy where he just destroys Orthros.
Yeah, if I have Scrap Dragon on the field, and let's say I just used Chimera and Beast, and I synced for Scrap Dragon, what I will do is I'll special summon Orthros from my hand. He'll self-destruct. I'll activate his effect, which I have to activate his effect, which destroys a scrap monster on the field, and I'll choose himself, and
then self-destruct for scrap chimera
back to my hand.
So yeah, that's he runs 2 because it can't be normal summoned or set.
So it's a dead draw.
Yeah.
Alright, 2 goblin.
This thing has screwed over Light Swords for a long time because it can't be destroyed in battle.
So like he'll have to waste an extra nuke if he wants to get rid of it.
And then finish him off on that turn. Sadly, that usually never works whenever he has Scrap Dragon. But what he will do is, if he has Scrap Dragon on the field and I summon my JD, I nuke the field. Its graveyard effect, when it's sent to the graveyard, it special summons a scrap from his graveyard. If he has Scrap Goblin, he summons it. And then in defense, it can't
be destroyed by battle.
So I end up wasting like.
And then he has the same effect as Beast, where if he's in defense mode and he's attacked, he will, he'll self-destruct at the end of the battle phase.
Yeah, but then once I end the battle phase, during my end phase, if I summon 3 JDs, then I have to mill the top 12 cards of my deck. So that's wasting like a fourth of my deck.
Next is Scrap Golem. I can special summon a level 4 or lower scrap monster from the graveyard to either player's side of the field. When I used to run Searcher, I could summon Searcher to my opponent's side of the field, and it would destroy every non-scrap monster.
So basically, wiping out their field.
Yeah,
if they aren't running scraps.
Yeah, but Searcher's a dead draw, so don't run him.
Well, you can run him if you're only going to use this strategy, but remember that Scrap Searcher becomes kind of a dead draw.
It's a really inconsistent strategy.
Well,
next is 1 Mechlord Emperor Granul. When a card is destroyed on my side, when a monster on my side of the field is destroyed by a card effect, happens a lot with Scrap Dragon, and like, remember that Orthros combo I mentioned? Well,
This
if
could
I
also
have
work.
him in my hand, I can also special summon him after Orthros is destroyed.
So that's a 4,000 point beat stick if you haven't lost any life.
He gains life points equal to half, or attack points equal to half your life points, and then he can equip a synchro monster on your opponent's side of the field, and then equip it to himself, and he gains attack equal to the synchro monster. If he would be destroyed by battle, you can destroy the synchro monster that's equipped to him instead, and once per turn, you can take an equipped synchro monster to him, and synchro monster equipped to him, but he'll special summon to your side of the field in face-up defense mode.
So it's basically like has the same effect as any other mech lord.
Yeah.
And the best part is it's level 1, so that's a 4,000 point beat stick that's level 1, and it can't be affected by gravity bind.
Yeah, it's
or
pretty
level limit.
good. Actually, not just pretty good. It's really good.
If you're just trying to like beat stick them.
If you're just trying to beat down your opponent.
So,
next is 3 Gravekeeper's Spy. Its flip effect is when this card is flipped like you can special summon another Gravekeeper's monster from your deck. I only run Spy because I don't like Descendant. I just don't. If I draw Descendant, I'm gone. It has horrible stats, and I'm not running Necro Valley because that screws over my plays. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, Gravekeeper's Spy is a 2,000 point wall, so it's not really all that much of a dead draw. And then it's a flip effect. Its flip effect is it just
sometimes I like to Book of Moon it so that I can use its effect twice.
Yeah.
And then,
note that you can use a card effects on your own side of the field, right?
Yeah, Book of Moon just says doesn't say whose side of the field.
So yeah, next in line.
Monk. I can. When he's normal summoned, he switches to defense mode, and when he switches to defense, when I can discard a spell card from my hand, and he'll special summon a level 4 from my deck, so I can use if I have Scrapyard in my hand, a lot of times, I'll discard that and special summon a tuner, and then I'll sync with them.
So yeah, that's
first turn Scrap Dragon or Stardust, or depends what kind of matchup I'm having.
Kind of depends on what they're
against
using.
Chamber, and I'll summon Blackwing Dragon. Anyway,
yep.
Next Cyber Dragon. I'm gonna
pretty much side deck favorite.
Yep,
and
I'm gonna side deck him and put in Interplanetary Purpley Thorny Dragon.
Try saying that 5 times fast.
Yeah, that's my joke, Chris. Anyway, if your opponent controls a monster, you can special summon him from your hand as long as you control none. So
yeah, so
good card, but
we're gonna show
Thorny is so much better. We'll show him in a card showcase soon,
which we'll probably film soon.
All right, 3 Scrapstorm, MVP of the deck. Crazy card. I can target a scrap monster on my field. I send a scrap from my deck to the grave. Usually, I'll target like Goblin or something, and send Beast to the graveyard.
Then or Chimera or something like that, and just get it back.
Yeah, or Chimera or something, depending. And then Chimera, or I'll get it to my hand by destroying Goblin or Beast or whatever's on my field. So, and then I also draw a card. So, it's a draw power card too.
Yep. The draw power of that deck.
Scrapyard.
Just add a Scrap Tuner. That's about it.
I just add a Scrap Tuner to my hand. Nothing special, but it's a really good card when you're in a pinch, or if you really want to recycle that Scrap Chimera now. 2 Mystical Space Typhoon.
We already told you what this does. It just destroys a spell or trap on the field. And it's a quick play, so you can just chain it.
Yeah. If your opponent does something to it, you just chain it.
Swords of Revealing Light.
Swords of Revealing Light. Your opponent can't attack for the next 3 turns. Sadly, it stays on the field, and if it's for those 3 turns, and if it's destroyed, yeah, your opponent can attack again. 1 Book of Moon. I can flip a monster on the field into face down defense mode. I usually use that on my Spy or on a monster that's going to use its effect. So yeah. And then Monster Reborn. You guys know what this does.
A staple. Dark Hole. A staple. We already told you what that does.
This is Burden of the Mighty. Monsters on your opponent's side of the field lose 100 attack times their level, and that really adds up because
just
say
level
against
8
Red Eyes
800.
Darkness Metal, it goes down to 2,000 attack points, easily destroyable. Alright?
I thought it was level 10.
It is? Whatever. 1,800. Even more easily destroyable. Lightning Vortex.
It's basically a Dark Hole with a discard effect, and it only works on your opponent's side of the field and on face-up monsters.
Yep.
So pretty much any face-up monster.
Yep. Well, that's not on your side. But anyway. Triple Divine Wrath. When an opponent's monster... Oh, wait. We told you about this. But effect I'm looking to switch this out for Effect Veiler.
Because he's running Royal Decree now. We'll tell you about that later.
Royal Decree.
Okay.
And negates the effect of all other face-up traps. So anything that gets activated any trap that's activated while this is on the field, while this is face-up on the field, loses its effect.
On the bright side, you can Dark Bribe it.
Yeah. Well, only if you chain it to this card's activation. Now then, next is Solemn Judgment.
Staple, but we already told you about it. Counter trap.
Yep.
Negates pretty much everything.
Called Haunted. You guys know what that does. Dark Coffin. This is a bit of my own little tech. What it does is when it's face down and I send it to the graveyard, my opponent has to either discard a card or destroy a monster on their field. If they have no monster, they have to discard a card. If they have no cards, destroy a monster.
So yeah.
Oh, always side this out against Dark World. I don't care what for. Just side it out, please.
Because you really do not want to activate one of those effects.
Yeah. Oh god. Compulse, we told you what this does.
Return a monster to its to the owner's hand.
Mirror Force, again, you know what this does.
Destroys
and then Dust Tornado is MST, except it lets you set cards during your opponent's turn.
So yeah, that kind of opens up a few.
That wraps up the main deck. Next is
Moving
on
on
to the extra deck. Okay, so to Utopia.
Considering most people run Xyz now, I think you probably know what it does. But just for those who don't,
I can send an Xyz material on it to the graveyard, and it negates an attack.
And it's a 2500 beat stick.
And the sad part is, if it has no Xyz material left,
when it's attacked, it's destroyed.
Yeah. Right,
and here's the good part. Since Xyz monsters don't have levels, it's unaffected by Gravity Bind, just like Grano because it's level 1.
Gravity Bind. I don't know. I don't run it anymore just because it's such a. It gets MST'd too easily, and it's kind of like one of those things where you rely on it too much. Alright, next is Atomic Scrap Dragon. Don't pay any attention to him. He's too hard to summon. He's just horrible.
You might as well tell them about it.
He's only in there because he's shiny. Don't you can look up his effect if you want to listen to it, if you want to know it. Scrap Twin Dragon. I can destroy a monster on my side of the field, and he'll return 2 cards on my opponent's side of the field to their hand. So, like, if I have a Catastor problem, I'll summon him, and I'll destroy a card on my field. I'll bounce Catastor and one of their other cards. So yeah, and then when he's destroyed, I can special summon a Scrap from my graveyard. Really good. 3000 attack point beat stick. Really powerful monster.
Yep.
Alright, next is of course
the essential
Scrap Dragon.
Pretty much the ace of this deck. Once they get this thing out, you're basically kind of screwed.
Yeah, if I can get my synchro game running, I'll summon 1 per turn, pretty much, and
It's a 2800 beat stick. Its effect is
I can destroy a card on my field to destroy a card on my opponent's side of the field. So I usually use it on Scrap Tuners, so that I can get Chimera back to my hand, so that I can set up for next turn's Scrap Dragon.
And when I'm dueling
funny story
Connor,
about these. I actually decided to build this deck because I pulled this card in a pack. It's an Ultimate Rare Scrap Dragon. I think it's worth like $40 now. It's ridiculous.
It's pretty much the same thing I did for my
Lightsworns.
Yeah, because
I pulled a Gold Rare JD.
Yeah, I can thank Connor for that because he's the one who bought me Gold Series 3 for it.
Yeah,
he showed you that earlier.
Yeah. So this is a crazy card.
It's an ace in this deck.
It does the same thing as Scrap Twin with the revival thing.
Though that thing sometimes screws over my deck, because if I can't beat him on the turn I summon JD, when it comes his turn, he ends up destroying JD with its effect.
Yep. Next.
It's basically this is Scrap Archery, and it's just a beat stick. 2700 no effect.
Yep.
1800 defense.
It's level 7, so it's easy to bring out with Chimera and Goblin.
So yeah.
Next, Blackwing Dragon. He negates effect damage, and he loses 700 attack for every time he does this. And basically, he can regain all his attack, and he deals the same amount of damage.
Equal to the amount of counters or whatever, and then it also makes a monster lose that much attack.
Yeah, so it's crazy.
So,
anyway, next is
Stardust Dragon.
I can tribute him to destroy to
negate the activation of
and destroy a card that would destroy any number of cards on the field.
So yeah, but here's the thing: if you use Starlight Road to bring it out, it doesn't come back.
Yes, that's why I don't like Starlight Road, because it doesn't come back.
I do, just because I put it in my Swarm
Thunder
deck.
of Ruler.
Oh yeah, moving on to the side deck.
Yeah, moving on to the side deck. Thunder of Ruler, I can stop my opponent's activate during the standby phase, and it stops my opponent's battle phase.
So yeah.
Next is
Another Mechlord Emperor Ground. We told you about this.
Yep. And then another Dust Tornado. We told you about this.
Next is two Cyber Dragons.
Okay, and next is Crevice into the Different Dimension.
This will be showcased in our showcase.
Yeah, so what this does is I can declare an attribute, and then I remove from the graveyard 2 cards of that attribute. Great for stopping Twilights, Light Sworns, Inzectors,
all sorts of stuff. We'll tell you more in greater detail in the showcase.
Yeah. Alright, next, Triple King Tiger Wang Hu.
This might be in a showcase when I'm not really sure yet,
Yeah,
because we haven't decided.
We don't really know. But any monster that's normal or special summoned with 1400 or less attack is instantly destroyed by his
So
effect.
it stops Dino Rabbit and...
Yeah, it stops Dino Rabbit and huge plays with Tour Guide.
So,
next,
yeah.
2 Forbidden Chalice, the monster that I use this on.
Gains 800, but its effect is negated.
No, gains 400 attack.
Oh, I thought it was 800.
Yeah, and its effects are negated.
And it's a quick play, so in case you're
if my
facing
opponent, tries to use something crazy, such as Dark Armed or anything like that.
It gives it 800 attack, but its effect is negated for that. 400. Sorry, I don't know where I'm getting 800.
Yeah, this would be a horrible card to use if it gave them 800. Except I can turn my own monsters into a beat stick as well.
It's good for Ancient Gears. I don't know if anyone runs those anymore, other than the Scrap Gear Town.
Yeah, the Scrap Town combo.
Anyway,
I don't like that deck. It's not consistent.
Well, bottom line, that thing's good against Ancient Gears and negates their effects, so then you can use trap cards on them.
Yep.
So that pretty much concludes our scrap deck
profile, and we'll see you next time, guys.
This is the TCG team signing off. Okay, bye.